from Yael Alchemy, and I'm here with a message of the Divine Masculine for his beloved for the week of October 22 to the 28th. Okay, by this time, the Twin Flame Weekly reading has been up for a couple of hours, I think. Anyway, I'll try to do all three readings this week, and very important messages there, so do try to check that out. Basically, that's it. If you want an energy update on the energies, it's there in that video too. Okay, so let's get on with the reading. Okay, so as always, I've already prayed over the cards and shuffled them, and at the bottom of the deck is here. Usually at the bottom of the deck, it speaks to the state of the Divine Masculine, okay? And here we have the Nine of Swords, so it seems as if he's really having a lot of internal struggles, okay? And to put this into context, I spoke about this in the Twin Flame Weekly because he seems to be withdrawing in order to make important decisions moving forward. Okay, so here very much anguished and beleaguered by the task that he has in front of him. Okay, and see, that has to relate with starting anew. What I'm getting is that it's because Divine Masculine so very much attached. You know how the old paradigm of masculinity operated. It's like very proprietary. That's why they were the conquerors. If they find something, this is their land. It wasn't too long ago when they felt that, you know, their wives, their family were included in the whole term of chattel and property. And so these things to which the Divine Masculine has been having an undue attachment for, and which he now, in the new version of himself and in the construct of this new earth, must change in order to adapt to that new construct. Okay, he's torn. He's very much torn, especially since there's no guarantee on the other side of that this belief that he has held on for so long will be much better. Okay, so there, very much tormented about this new beginning, and that's why we have the Sun there in reverse and the Rebirth, the Judgment card, also in reverse, and that's it. Okay, now let's look at his message for the Divine Feminine. First card we have here is the Hermit card. That appeared also in the Twin Flame Weekly. Then we have the High Priestess. Then we have the Nine of Wands. Then we have the Moon card and the Three of Wands, the Two of Swords, and the Knight of Coins. Okay, so he speaks more about himself here, almost like an exposition of this state, basically giving news about himself to the Divine Feminine at this time. Usually he speaks to the Divine Feminine by giving advice, but this time he's just telling her where he is. Okay, and here we start off with the Hermit card, which was also seen in the Twin Flame Weekly. And like I said, I've been saying this over and over again. When the message is the message, it is the message. Okay? I mean, regardless what cards I use, regardless how many draws I pick, it's still the same until it changes. Okay, so here we have the Hermit card again, and appeared in the Twin Flame Weekly. So the Divine Masculine here, he's still in the process of withdrawing, trying to find himself, in silence, in solace, in isolation rather. Okay, here we find this hermit playing with wood sprites. These are elementals. So, and these elementals, they usually belong to the fourth dimension, and at least that is an improvement because now he's exploring, the Divine Masculine is exploring other dimensions other than what he can basically see, feel, hear, touch. Okay, so in his isolation, in this withdrawal, he's getting in touch with his higher self. Okay, seeing his higher self as a reflection of himself, and trying to draw wisdom from that because, as we can see, he also has choices to make here. So he's and then we have the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands, here you see this man, he's in a very protective stance. He's protecting these elks, the castle, so it's kind of a defense. Okay, so while he's withdrawing, he's very much protective of that space because it's like he's created this bubble around him wherein, any distraction, and this would be the distraction, would not be welcome because he has very important things to decide on. Okay, here, this is the card that talks about defense, and this is the card, the Moon card. You can see here that this woman is trying to distract the hare. Okay, she's pointing to the moon there, and trying to misdirect the hare, when in fact she has the moon in her hands. Okay, so again, being very protective, against all misdirection or from others trying to really figure out what he's up to right now. And this, well, I'm gonna call it stealth, okay, because in the other readings that I've had prior to this last one, uh, we've seen the Divine Masculine, keeping it under wraps, his awakening very strategically, and doing that because he's still trying to figure out where some pieces should be placed. Okay, in his understanding of, how his awakening affects him and everyone around him. And now he has to make some tough choices. And so that's why he needs this time alone. Okay, this distance that is necessary to access good judgment. Okay, and consulting there with this higher self. Okay, so here very protective about what he holds right now, to the point of even misdirecting people. So that's why some think that there's nothing going on, nothing has changed with their Divine Masculines. That's not exactly true. There may be a misdirection going on here, just so that they're playing their cards close to their heart, so to speak. Okay, because look, as he directs the hare, and the hare would be represented by those that are close to him right now, because the hare or rabbits, they represent domesticity, family. They're being pointed elsewhere in the meantime. Okay, This does not mean to say that the divine masculines are being duplicitous. Uh, it's just sometimes you need time alone until you have a specific course of action. So it's a very self-protective measure at this point, and not wanting to really be distracted by the bonds that he has externally right now, because he's still trying to figure out himself. Okay, and look, that's why being very defensive about what's going on with him right now, because he's looking towards the future. Here we have the Three of Wands, okay? And in the Three of Wands, you see this barefoot woman, and while she's waiting for the ships to come in, she's looking on all sides, even looking back. In other decks, you would see that the being would be looking forward. Now, the being, when I talk about the being, that sounds like a ghost. Okay, no, the person usually illustrated on the card is looking forward towards the boats, because she's anticipating them coming in, right? But here she's looking backwards. And so that is her way of keeping grounded. Okay, which is a good thing for the divine masculine, because he wants his decisions to be grounded in reality, not just frivolous decisions based on fantasy, based on something that is what's the word, implausible, not plausible, yeah, right, not plausible. So that's why she's looking back, looking at all angles, and not just looking forward to the boats, but she wants to see what those boats, once they arrive, what's going to receive them. Hence, that's why she's looking back. And so there, looking at all angles, basically, as he makes these decisions. Okay, we have the Two of Swords here, also in the Twin Flame Weekly, so they're very much in sync. As he makes these decisions about the future, okay, and the Two of Swords here would be the decisions that he has to make, and the Knight of Coins here is the study that he needs to do, the research. You can see here knights are often depicted atop their horses, well, just like this one, but the horse is moving. But here the horse is very still, and you can see the knight, and he's accessing all these books. So very much into studying, and this is a practical knight. So, and when we couple it with the Three of Wands, it's studying all aspects. And that's why it's like he's going to make an informed decision. And he's going to balance all things and try to be fair to everyone involved. Of course, this hair here might view it differently, especially since he or she has been misdirected. But this is something that the divine masculine needs to do in the meantime, as he makes these important decisions and he studies them. Okay, so that's what I have for you. Okay, and so no surprise there that the divine masculine is withdrawing, connecting with his higher self, and really protecting that space, that sacred space for him, wherein he is in touch with his higher self as he makes decisions that will affect those on the ground. Okay, and putting much time and study into them, looking at them, at the situation from all angles. Okay, so that would be the message this week. Now, for those who feel that they need the forgiveness Reiki help them move forward in their own ascension journey. It's on the site as well as the other specials too. Just check it out. But the forgiveness Reiki is really helpful in clearing out all the residue that you may have overlooked. Especially when dealing with others, because that really presents as a block to move forward when there is resentment, disappointment, or anger towards a specific person, or in particular your divine masculine or your divine feminine. Just the frustration for them taking so long to see results, that builds up. Now, I spoke about this in the Twin Flame Weekly, that we have to be clear channels. So this is another tool that will help you be that and do that. Okay, so it's up on the website. That's 30 minutes of Reiki with divine codes for forgiveness, betrayal, and abandonment, to lift resentment and to vibrate with the frequency of peace, harmony, and resolution after conflict with others, for self-love and self-worth to increase to optimum levels. You need that after forgiving everyone, including yourself, okay? And for consolation and comfort to the soul that only the Divine Mother can give, because it is a very challenging time. And that's going to come up when he does his introspection. Remember, a lot of the divine masculines have been dealing with guilt and self-worth. And if you've had readings with other people, often, especially about past lives, often that's going to come up. And for those that I did the couples Akashic reading in their past lives, some of you, the divine masculine is dealing with those things that happened in those past lives, and of course the divine feminine too, dealing with the residue of that. So try to check this out so that it may help. Okay, so that's what I have for you, everyone, and I hope this helped. Take care. Bye.